Hello everyone, Redstep here. Welcome back to another Phasmophobia video. In this video I'm going to show you guys the best graphic and control settings in Phasmophobia. Before we go into the video, if you like what you're seeing, please consider subscribing for more videos like this. So let's get to it. Alright, when we are in the game, what we're gonna do is we're gonna press escape and then it's gonna bring us the journal or the book for the options menu. So we're gonna select the options, go to game, it's gonna bring us this. So the first and second setting, it's really simple. Just put up the preferred language that you usually have or want for this game. So you just change it to whatever language you want, Spanish, Portuguese, or English for the normal one. And voice recognition mode, the best one yet for me, it's actually Vosk, but I guess you could use the Windows or the text one. If in any cases the game bugs, and then you cannot speak through the spirit box or in something else. So you could use Windows or text chat menu. For mouse sensitivity, I just put it on 1. It's my preferred one. I don't want really to change it. So go ahead and then change it however you want it to. Inverted XIX, just both of these off. FOV, it really depends on your preferred one, but the best one is gonna be 90, of course. So cursor brightness, I put it on 500 so I could see in really good brightness visual areas and also dark ones, so I don't lose track of my cursor when I want to pick up the items or something like that. As you can see, it brightens up when I want to take the items, so I could see them whenever I want to. So the best one is 500%. Head bob, if you really want to use this to make the game more realistic, you could go for it. It's gonna look like this when you run or when you walk. It's gonna give a head bob effect, so it feels like you're actually walking. But for me, since I'm kind of a pro gamer, I really want to keep an eye on the stuff in the game while I'm walking. I don't want to lose sight of it. As you can see, I'm just moving and then looking at this, and my head is not distracting me or making me look more, difficult for me. It doesn't make it difficult for me to look at stuff when I'm walking or running. So it's gonna be simple. It's gonna look at one direction. It's not gonna move his head. For sprint mode, it's gonna be obviously hold. If you guys like it on toggle, then change it to toggle. Degrees, I put it on Celsius. I like this Celsius more than the other one. The alternative ports, I don't actually know what this does, but I'm not actually sure what this does, but I would keep it off. These three stuff here at the end, we don't want to mess with these stuff. The privacy policy, if you want to, you can open it up and then check it out, stuff like that, but the rest I wouldn't touch it. So the next section would be video for graphics. So we're gonna go all the way up. Brightness, I have it on 2.6 to almost make it not too bright and not too dark. So for me, at least, it's like this. I could see the usual darkness corners most of the time. So for me, it's gonna be 2.6. Full screen mode, full screen obviously. VSync, I don't keep it on. I want the full amount of FPS that I'm gonna have in this game, so I'm gonna keep it off. Resolution, the highest one that you have. I don't suggest putting it on the lowest that you have, because it's gonna make it more worse. But the resolution that you have for your monitor and the graphics card, stuff like that, then you just have to have the highest one that you have only for your setup. So anti-aliasing, I have it on FXAA. I don't want to have the edges of objects or stuff and items to look like it's out of the place. So for me, the best one is FXAA. You could put it on SMAA or MSAA, and then use the quality that you want for it. But for me, I'm gonna stick to FXAA. I just don't want the edges out of the place. So the best one is gonna be FXAA. Fidelity FX Super Resolution. I think this is only for me. I don't think nobody else has this. Of course, if they have the version that I have for my graphics card, my graphics card is AMD, so I guess this would make sense for me to have this. But I wouldn't touch a thing of this. I don't want to make the game worse than it is, so I'm gonna keep it off. For texture and resolution, I'm gonna keep it on full, skylight on, fog quality high. You could put it on medium or low if you don't like it, or if your setup doesn't has the recommended settings on this. So you just keep the things on low as much as possible if it's needed. For shadows, I have it on soft. Shadow resolution, I have it on. Anisotropic, I have this on to make the game look cooler with the fog and stuff in the game about the weather. So I'm gonna keep this on. Ambient occlusion, this only makes your game more darker. It gives more shadow to the object and stuff. So I don't really want it. So I'm just gonna keep this off. For bloom, I have this on to make the game, to make the lights in this game more effective on things. So as you can see, it's really bright. It's brightening up the case here, showing case. So I'm just gonna go here, turn this off. It's a bit less effective than last time, as you can see. It's not really glowing, it's not really shining on the objects. So if I turn this on again, now it's shining, and that section of the light is like really bright. So if you want to make your lights in this game more looking better, so I suggest you put this on if you want to. If not, then keep it off. Film grain, what this does is it's gonna make your game look like a film or a cinema film, something like that. So at the end of things, I don't really see well. But if I turn this off, I can see better now, because it's gonna give a more a tiny black dots in the air, so it's gonna make it feel like a cinema film or something like that. Chromatic aberration, it's something similar to the film kind of effect. So if you turn this on, as you can see, it's gonna make the sides of the screen blurry. Now let me turn this off again. As you can see, it's more better, more visible to eye, that it's really looking really smooth and clean here. So for me, I'm gonna keep this off. Audio, for audio, if you have the master volume on highest one, which is gonna be 100, if you have a volume on your PC that is for example, like for me it's gonna be 76, 78 volume on PC. So for me it would be too much on this game, since it's gonna have screamings and sounds in it too much. So I'm gonna just change it to 70, 75, 80, or even 65. If not, then 50 if my volume sound on PC is lower than what it is right now. So I'm gonna keep this to 90. Speaker mode, I don't know what exactly this does, but I'm gonna stick to the normal one, which is gonna be stereo. Microphone, you have to select the one that you're using on your PC to talk with your friends in the game, and you know, the one with the microphone or the one you want to listen inside the game. So for me it's gonna be HyperX Virtual Surround Sound. Voice input mode, I'm gonna always have this on push to talk. I don't want it on voice activation or toggle one, so I'm just gonna have to stick with this. This is the best one yet. So voice activation sensitivity, you could keep this on high or low, wherever you prefer, but since I'm not using this voice activation, so I'm gonna stick to the medium, both of them, for the voice activation sensitivity. And the last one is gonna be the controls. The normal controls is gonna be W, S, A, and D for the normal movement in this game. Primary use and secondary use is gonna mean that when you want to use an item, let's say this one, UV light, when you want to use it, you have to press right click on your mouse to open it up or to use this. If it's in other items, then the secondary use would be also for kind of these items, but for secondary use would be candle, you know, lantern, or dots to place them on the ground. So you have to use F and then placing them on whatever surface that you have. But since I don't have a candle right now in my hand, so it's gonna be drop for me. But if you use F, then you're gonna have to place the item on the ground or wherever you want to. So that's that for primary use. Secondary use, run. Normally it's gonna be shift. If you don't like it, you could change it back. For crouch, it's gonna be C. I really love to use crouch in almost every game for my thumb mouse button, so I don't have to like use my fingers on the keyboard to crouch. I prefer more using the mouse button to crouch in most of the games because it's much faster than actually pressing the button on keyboard. So I'm gonna stick to this one, but if you prefer the other controls for this on keyboard or mouse, I really suggest you put this on mouse button, which is gonna be thumb one. Just change that. If you don't have a thumb mouse button on the side of your mouse, then you could change it to whatever you actually prefer and think it's easy for you. For pickup, it's gonna be normally E. For drop the item, it's gonna be G. I don't really want to change these. It doesn't matter for me. It doesn't make a change thing for me, so I'm just gonna keep with these stuff here. For flashlight, normally it's gonna be T, but for me it was too far, so I had to change it to R, which is really closer to my point finger to use the flashlight. For inventory swap, it's gonna be normally Q. If you don't like this one, you could always use the mouse scroll to switch between your items, but I actually prefer using Q to actually use the items and cycle between them much faster than actually mouse scrolling, because as you can see it's just way slower. I can do this with Q and it's way easier to do this. So that's gonna be for Q. For journal, normally it's gonna be with J, but since it's too far away from the keyboard, I changed it to tab so I could actually access the journal much easier with pressing tab, going here and then closing it up like this, running, going and hide from the ghost, and then checking your evidence to make sure which actually ghost you're dealing with. So for me, it's much easier to use the tab one. For local push to talk, it's gonna be V. For global one, it's gonna be V. So I wouldn't actually change any of this. So it's actually easier for me to use this. In most of the games, it's like this. So I wouldn't change a thing here. So the best ones are these. If you want to, you could just copy from mine. If you can't, then just use the preferred one that you actually want to use. If you have any questions, please let me know down in the comments. And please, if you like this video, make sure to subscribe for more videos like this. And I will see you all in the next video.